Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 7, Let He Who Is Without Sin. Now, first of all, some of you might know, probably know, that the title comes from a Bible quote that is, Let He Who Is Without Sin Cast the First Stone, which is a quote from Jesus, and he's basically saying, you're not perfect, so stop judging other people for their sins, which fits with this whole episode and what it's about. Before I get too far into it, this episode was directed by Rene Auberjonois, which, let me tell you, when I first started this series to now, I've gotten his name down packed because I've been practicing over and over again. And it's funny because Odo's not in this episode, so you can really tell that he was able to just kind of sit back and actually do the directing thing. Now, the most part about this episode, it's about Worf and Dax, Lita and Bashir, and Quark all go to the planet Risa. Now, I didn't actually look it up, but I feel like we haven't been to Risa in a really long time. At least since sometime in the Next Generation, if not the Captain's Holiday episode. That's the last time I clearly remember it. Worf and Dax want to go basically to have a conversation where Worf is uncomfortable with the way Dax approaches other people. Now, she's been alive for hundreds of years at this point, and so she's just a very personal person where it's easy to talk to. She likes to go out and mingle, stuff like that. And Worf is like, no, you're dishonoring me. Let's be together. Lita and Bashir are just young lovers doing their thing, and Quark just wants to go get laid, basically. So they go to Risa, and it's kind of funny because they get there and they're all in their outfits, bikinis, stuff like that, and Worf is in his uniform. And at one point, Dr. Bashir looks at Worf and is like, "When in Rome," which is kind of funny. I don't know why this sticks out to me, but it reminds me of the third episode or something of the Next Generation when they're on the Justice planet, where the one where Wesley gets arrested and sentenced to death. Riker says the exact same thing to Worf, and Worf is like, "Where?" And then later on, you find out he was raised on Earth, so it's just weird. But anyway, Dr. Bashir says the same thing. So Worf is in his outfit and doing his thing, and then Vanessa Williams shows up, and it turns out Vanessa Williams was a former lover of Curzon Dax, which again just kind of gets Worf just all sorts of irritated, and just it's difficult for Worf to accept that previous Dax hosts had multiple lovers, and that he looks at Jadzia as being that same person, and she's like, no, I am with you now. I can have friends, but just because Curzon and this woman were lovers does not mean her and I are lovers. We can just be friends. And Worf just has a difficult time understanding that. And where the title comes in is these people show up that are very religious figures, and it's a little bit overkill the way that they portray religion in such a negative light. I don't know. They just did it in a poor way, in my opinion, where they show up and they're like, if the Borg attacked right now, or the Dominion, or anybody else, which that jumped out at me because I feel like we haven't heard the name Borg since the season 3 premiere, where we first see the Defiant, or at least we don't hear it very often in this show. This guy's if they showed up right now and attacked, you all would be slaughtered because you're rich, pampered, spoiled little brats on your perfectly artificially engineered planet, doing nothing. And Worf is he's kind of right, because Risa is actually a swamp planet, and they just have this weather program and stuff like this that's all fake. And so he and Jadzia start having a fight. And over the course of the episode, Worf does help them for a little bit and starts to make it rain. And as soon as it starts raining, people just start getting pissy and grumbly, and they start leaving. And Worf's like, "See, I told you." And Jadzia is that's not the point. The point is we're here on vacation, and we can't just be about war this entire time. You have to cool down, and this is a perfect place for that. And they go through some different stuff, and they talk to this minister, and by the time we get to the end, the minister's ready to just destroy the planet, and Worf is like, okay, you know what, you had a point and then you lost it, which is where the title, he was judging other people for their sins of being too relaxed, and he was losing sight where he just wanted to blow up the planet. Overall, I felt like this was a really good episode. It was a very strong episode. And it was interesting to see the different relationships, like Worf and Dax and Julian and Lita. And I really liked it. I thought it was a good episode. It was great to see Vanessa Williams. In my opinion, she's an underrated actress. I mean, if the first thing that comes to mind is Eraser, then you got problems. So overall, I really like this one. For those who have seen this one, were you glad to go back to Risa? Are you sick of Risa? What do you think about Dax and Worf's relationship? Whether looking back to where they've been or looking forward to them getting married, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for Things Past.